how to convert failure into success each and every time. Wouldn't that be awesome? You fail and you create success right away. Well, it's possible. And my name's Erin Cook. I'm the creator of Find Your Free Time, and I'm gonna share with you when I fall down a bazillion times when reaching my goals, how I get back up, dust myself off, try it again, and I turn failure into success each and every time. It's a process you can do over and over again. So if it sounds like you, if you are someone that wants to get better in your life, wants to reach your goals, wants to learn from your mistakes and become a better person and grow from that, and no matter if it's business or in your personal life, this is the video for you, so stay tuned. So let's dive right in. If you want to grab a pen and paper, this would be a great time to do that, because this system that I'm going to teach you is something that you can use over and over and over for every single time you fail at something or you feel like you fail. And I want to start out by saying that I always say nothing is a failure, and I don't believe any experience really is a failure. I find it's a teachable moment. It's something we can learn from and grow through, and I really enjoy the struggle after it's over with. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for it, because I have come out stronger or better or smarter, and you know, I'm more resilient. So I want to start by saying there's no true failure in life, just experiences. But I want to talk about the failures that come when you're trying to meet a specific goal, like I was mentioning before, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. You are not a failure just because you did not complete something or accomplish something. So I want to give you that positive feedback right now. You're not a failure, and your failures do not define you and who you are. So that's why I think this is so important, because we have a lot of self-talk, right? Have you ever not done something, not completed a goal, or not hit your mark, and you just have that self-talk like, oh, is it really worth it? Am I gonna be a good whatever salesperson maybe you are? Or am I gonna be good at this other job? Or am I gonna be a good mom? You know, you kind of have that self-doubt once you fall on your face a few times, right? We all have been there. And that's the biggest hurdle when trying to turn failure into success, is your mindset. So let's talk about that. This is step one. What I want you to think about is you start here, right? Say your path is right here and you want to hit this goal right here. Well, you've got all these little steps that you're taking and you're trying to do. Maybe you've worked out a plan, which is always something that you need to do to get to that goal and keep your eye on the prize. But maybe, let's say midway, you just fall flat on your face. Something goes so drastically wrong and you kind of got to start over, regroup, figure out, you know, is this worth it? Is this really the goal that I want to try for? So your mindset has to be one of a journey, because once you reach that goal here, there's always another goal, right? Have you ever completed a goal and then you're like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to get any better. I don't need anything else. I'm done with goals. I've completed my whole life. No, nobody's done that, right? We all set goals for ourselves, and I know, because you're here, that one of your goals is to always improve how you're doing things, right? Or else you wouldn't be watching this. So I know that about you, and I applaud you for that, for wanting to better your life and for wanting to learn from your mistakes or your failures when trying to complete something. So you have to adapt. Step number one is adapting that mindset that it's a journey. It's not just a once try something and you're done, boom. It's not that, it's just a journey. So you need to enjoy it and learn from it. And the other thing that I mentioned before that I want you to learn, it's not going to define you as a person. You are not a failure because of your successes. And that's what we talk ourselves down all the time when we do that. When we fail, you know, we say, are we really worth it? And you are. So you have to adapt that mindset of a journey, and you also have to have the confidence and the courage to get out there and do it without it being perfect. Because if you're one of those people that has a goal over here and you're starting here, but you're waiting till the right moment to start making your way over towards this goal because you want it to be perfect, you are a perfectionist. And I admit that's where I've been too. I have not started something because I want it to be perfect before I even start it. And that's just not possible. So we have to break that mold too. We're all gonna fail. We failed before. We're gonna fail again. But here's how to be prepared. So number one is your mindset. It's a journey, and you have to own up is another part of that mindset. Own up to your past mistakes and say, you know what? This didn't turn out the way I planned. I didn't hit my goal. We can't blame other people for everything, although we would really like to. That's our tendency, right? You know, I'm here and maybe I want to be here, but somebody here did this to me and it just threw me off course, or they didn't do their job so I couldn't do my type of thing. That's all good and fine, but there's always something that we could have done to help along that way. Maybe if we had an accountability partner and they didn't end up being accountable or making us accountable, we want to blame them. However, maybe we should have been checking in more often with our accountability partner. Maybe we should have said, hey, you know what? You're not making me accountable. And if we didn't do that, then it's our fault, right? So that is the first step, adopting that mindset of being on a journey. We're not just stopping along the way just because we fall flat on our face. Okay, so number 2, after you've done that, and this is done the day that you fail, the day that you say, man, this sucks, I really screwed up, this isn't working out, this is what you do immediately, okay? So step 2, you're gonna do 2 different things. The first one is you're gonna write down 3 things that went wrong. The biggest 3 things that went wrong and whatever it is that you did and feel like you failed at. So let me take you back really quick to a story where I began as a travel agent, just doing anything and everything just to start making some money. I would feel successful when I got that one client that maybe found me on my website and booked this huge vacation that I loved to plan, and I made a great commission from it. That was my dream and my goal at the time. So I worked so hard. I looked at how to create websites. I looked at SEO, search engine optimization, so that I could get ranked for my website. I looked at how to use social media to boost my profits. I looked at anything and everything. I took $7,000 worth of courses to be able to do that. So I was stoked. I was gonna nail this. And finally that day came where I got a call from a client who I'd never met. He found me on my website, and I had worked very hard to set myself apart from all the other travel agents. And I said, why did you pick me to call? He said, because your website was so different from everybody else. And he went on. And I felt really good about myself, right? So he calls me and he says that I'm going on a honeymoon. Here's my budget, which was huge. It was the biggest budget I had ever had to that point. And this is what I want to do. And I was so excited because it was finally happening. And fast forward, we booked the trip. We had everything all set, and the commission check was huge. Like, I had gotten my goal. I felt like, okay, I'm gonna nail this. This is a new business for me, and I got this. I can do it, right? We have those points where we're all excited, and I'm sure you've been excited about your goal that you have set. And you just get pumped, and you keep going, and then all of a sudden something happens. And here's what happened. So we get everything booked, and he calls me, and we're working on tours and things like that. And he says, hey, I just got an email from such and such a resort that we just booked. And he had already signed up for these emails prior to contacting me. He signed up for every resort email on the planet. So this one came across, and what it was offering was a discount. Because it was a holiday, he was eligible for this discount for a job that he had had in the past. Now, I had never heard of this before, and he calls me and he said, it says we can apply it to this booking. Could you go ahead and do that for me? Okay, yeah. I knew I would get a pay cut. I would get less commission because it's based on the price of the resort. So when the price of the resort goes down, my commission goes down. Fine, I wanted him to get this discount. It was great. And then what happened was I got a letter when it came to my commission, when I was trying to figure exactly out what it would be, that my commission was now capped. And what that means is, let's say, this isn't the real figure, but let's say I was making 10% commission on his booking. So I would get 10% as a paycheck of whatever the price of his trip was. Now that percentage was capped, 7% lower than that. So let's say it was capped at 3%. So now instead of that 10%, I was only making 3%. Again, that's not the real figure, but I'm just saying that's the amount difference. So it was 7% difference, which was like huge pay cut. Okay, huge. Now that's not the problem. The discount's not the problem, because again, I said what I do for my clients is I get them the best value for the money, and that was with the discount. Here's where I screwed up. Okay, so it was the biggest check I would ever receive when I was booking it. But what I did, because I was so excited, because I loved these customers, they were so much fun to work with, it was just my dream trip, I gave them as a honeymoon gift 2 things: a private dinner on the beach and a $100 spa gift certificate that I knew they would use there because they were going to the spa type honeymoon as a thank you, because my commission check was going to be so huge. Okay, so I did that right after booking. So what happened when my percentage went down 7% and I had spent almost $300 giving them that gift, okay? Because my check was gonna be really big. Now I make almost nothing. on the booking. Okay, so I was here and I went here, not because of just the discount, but because I screwed up. I didn't plan for this to happen. I didn't know of this discount. I didn't educate myself, you know. And here's where this step number 2 comes in if you're following along. You're gonna wanna name the 3 things that you screwed up on. So mine was, I counted my chickens before they hatched, right? I didn't plan on anything going wrong. I planned on this huge commission check. Number 2, I obviously didn't know this discount existed, so I had to brush up on my discounting procedures. And then 3, I didn't have a plan for when this did happen. A lot of my customers do get discounts sometimes, so my commission does get cut quite a bit when I give away a discount. It's almost like it comes just out of my checking or my check, which is difficult, but that's just the name of the game. But I didn't have a plan. That's where I failed. It was me that wasn't prepared for this, okay? So I just counted my chickens before I hatched and I went whole hog and I lost a ton of money because of it. Now, it may not be a ton of money to you, but I just didn't have a plan in place. And that was a big deal for me in the end because I had spent 30, 40 hours already on just the resort and air portion. And then we had to get into the tours. Okay, so it was a ton of work, kind of like, but it was a learning experience. So I could have just sat there and cried, and I did cry. I know it sounds dumb. Why do I cry? Because I don't make as much money as I thought it was. You know, it's not like somebody was taking it out of my pocket as I was sitting there. It was just something unexpected, really was the big blow to me. I thought I had it all figured out, but I didn't, okay? So I had that choice to sit there and cry, or I could learn from it. So here's the next thing. After you've figured out those 3 steps you failed at, name 3 steps that you succeeded at. Along the way from your journey here to your goal here, you learned so much and you accomplished so much, but you don't celebrate it. I bet you don't. If you're on a weight loss journey and you start at X amount of pounds and you want to hit 20 pounds less and you maybe only make 3, do you celebrate that? I bet you don't. I bet you beat yourself up because you're not 20 pounds less. Am I right? Because I know that's me. I don't celebrate my successes, but man, if you're 3 pounds less, that's a success. You are somewhere that you weren't before. You've taken that extra step. So you have to go ahead and name 3 successes. So for me, all that hard work with learning the SEO and learning how to promote my business online and stand out from the crowd, that was working. He told me that, and that's how he found me. So that was a huge success. All that time and effort I put into it, it was a success. Okay, he validated that. I made great friends out of that. And he's gonna give me extra business from his friends because I did such a good job. So it's not all a loss, but you have to look at those things, right? Instead of just beating yourself up over this one instance, look at everything good that came from it. So on your weight loss goal, let's say maybe you have learned a new recipe that you like that you can incorporate that maybe has fewer calories or whatever it is. You have accomplished something, so I want you to celebrate it. So by doing that, you're gonna write down 3 things that you've accomplished that are good that came out of this failure, all right? So out of this journey. So the last step, and this is really easy, right? It sounds really hard to turn failure into success, but when you're thinking about it in terms of mindset and actionable steps, this is how you do it, and it's really simple. So the last step, step number 3, is taking whatever went wrong, those top 3 things, and figuring out a solution or an alternative for them. Change it up, start over, get your confidence back, and go out and try again. Because you can't sit there in the same place that you were trying the same thing over and over. So for me, what did I have to do? Well, I had to put a plan in place, right? I had to figure out, okay, what do I do when somebody comes to me and I know they're eligible for a discount? Do I incorporate a fee? Do I take part of the discount as my commission? You know, what is it that I'm gonna do to make sure I at least get paid for this booking? So I figured that out. I had to wait until maybe 2 weeks prior when I get the e-documents for my clients to travel. That's when I can tell them about their gift, whatever it may be, because that's when I know what I'll be getting for sure, because things can change before that. But I was so excited to give them, their gift before that I counted my chickens before they hatched. So I had to figure out a strategy for each thing that I didn't have in place. And that's how I changed what I was doing so that I could grow more and learn from that experience and be prepared next time. That's all it is. It's just a learning experience. Yeah, it sucks. Like, it sucked to go through that without a plan, but I did it. And next time things got better. I've had people get discounts now, but I know what I'm doing now because I had that one experience. And sometimes you just need that. You need to fall on your face and you need to learn how to dust yourself off and get back up again, and that way you can succeed. And every time you fail or feel like you've failed, you have to do this process, but you can see how each time it gets better and better and better, and eventually you're gonna get here. When you start out here, you're gonna get here if you try and try and try. But if you don't change it up, if you don't learn from your mistakes and where you're failing, you're just gonna be sitting in the same spot over here, which isn't very fun. You know, so I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some inspiration that no matter where you are in a journey of whatever path you want to be on, there's hope, there's a way out, and you're never stuck in one place. And if you need some help finding time to figure this all out, maybe you are trying to reach a goal and you're like, yeah, I would love to hit the gym, or yeah, I would love to start a new business, or maybe I'd love to go back to school, but I just don't have the time. I need you to do me a favor. Go ahead to findyourfreetime.com. Findyourfreetime.com. That's my free training program. It's super quick. It's like 15, 20 minutes, something like that. It's an online PDF with a video walkthrough that teaches you how to simplify your life and your schedule so that you have at least 1 or 2 hours a day to work on what it is that you want to do. Again, that's findyourfreetime.com. It's the exact process, how I schedule and prioritize my day so that I can get everything done on my must-do list and still have time left over for what I want to do, which is mostly be with my family and enjoy their company, because life is too short, right? After my daughter died, I realized that. So if you're in a place over here and you want to get here, get moving before something happens. Don't wait for tragedy to strike before you change your life, because that's what I did. I waited and it sucked, but I learned the hard way, and I learned that was the importance of that outcome, and I want to share that with you. So again, it's findyourfreetime.com. If you are new to me here, go ahead and follow me. I would love to have your company. We do these trainings every week. I try to help you strategize and simplify your life so that you can be happy. Be happy in whatever it is that you do. So thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Erin Cook, and I will talk to you next week. God bless. All right, I don't have a microphone anymore. I got a new phone, and now there's no microphone support for it. So I gotta buy a different kind of microphone.